Ever since Jade Cargill made her WWE debut, they've been building her up on an undefeated streak, and last night they just threw that in the trash and put it to waste in a really lazy booking decision. We're going to be breaking down that and more, segment by segment, emoji by emoji. You're watching Allison Analysis. Firstly, we kicked things off with a UFC-like video package hyping up the King of the Ring action for the night. A thumbs up from me, no doubt about it. Since, production changes but half a year ago on WWE TV, we've seen a lot less of, video packages in general. So now when they do them, well, I actually love them, to be honest with you. And I thought this was a great way to start the night. But in terms of starting the in-ring action off, well, we had the EST versus Tiffany. And, well, this was a bit of fun, wasn't it? Triple H, take my money, because these two ladies, well, they killed it. No doubt about it. Bianca Belair got the victory. A great, great match. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome," and I'm inclined to agree. Great way to start off the show. We then saw LA Knight, walk out of Nick Aldis's office. And he then weirdly had a bit of a face-off with Logan Paul. And this was a little bit unexpected, I've got to say. But, I mean, I'm not mad at an LA Knight Logan Paul feud. I'm absolutely not. A lot of people are saying they want LA Knight to dethrone Logan Paul. So perhaps that's what was teased here. And then we had an encounter between Carmelo Hayes and LA Knight. And, well, this was quite interesting because Carmelo Hayes seemed to be playing a little bit of a heel. And I'm not mad at that at all. He seems to have become a little overconfident now, and I'm kind of surprised they've changed direction with him. But this was, a lot of what he was like, towards his later days in NXT. And I'm happy with that. This segment, thumbs up from me. They're building some long-term stories here, and I can never be mad at that. Talking about LA Knight, he then got knocked out of King of the Ring in his match against Tama Tonga. Tama Tonga is looking like a beast. The bloodline is looking better than ever, and this was enjoyable. A thumbs up. Nothing spectacular in the ring, but I mean, this new bloodline, they're exciting me. And LA Knight, I think he's fine with this loss. I don't think people are exaggerating online, saying he needs to win King of the Ring. He doesn't. I mean, people forget he's not going to become a main event star for WWE because of his age. And I mean, that's just the way it was always going to be. I mean, I think he's gotten a lot further than he expected, to be brutally honest here. But Tama Tonga goes through to the final, or the final of the SmackDown side, and it's going to be exciting, isn't it? Melo then made fun of LA Knight backstage. It's so clear they're doing a Melo versus LA Knight feud, and I'm not mad at that one bit. Should be an entertaining one. But talking about things which are entertaining, we had Logan Paul come out next, and he had a bit of a new entourage, or basically just an entourage of paid actors. George Janker really has finished this man, hasn't he? But, I mean, the contract signing between Cody and Logan Paul, it was enjoyable. I will say that. It did kind of feel a little bit like a lazy way out of doing champion versus champion, with Logan Paul getting his lawyer to make it just for the WWE Championship. But hey, Cody's a fighting champion. It is on par with the character. And this was an entertaining segment, and it advanced the story quite well. Cody looked like a beast coming out of it. So hey, I'm going to give it a subtle round of applause, actually. An enjoyable one. But unfortunately, my positivity is going to end for the time being there. Because up next, we had Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill. And, I mean, this match was fairly short. And Jade Cargill lost. She lost via DQ when Nia Jax tried to hit her with a chair. She then grabbed the chair and hit Nia with it. I mean, we've been, telling the story of Jade so far as, really cool character. Not somebody who's hot-headed. Somebody who's sensible and is going to go on a long undefeated streak. And they just threw this in the trash. This segment was a steaming pile of dump. It really, really was. It annoys me so much because they could have done a really long undefeated streak with Jade Cargill here. And yes, people are saying that, Jade, she was going to lose the tag team titles. Well, that's not singles action. And yes, I know this isn't a clean loss, but it's still a loss. It's a DQ. It's on her record. I think this was super lazy. I think they got to the point where they got Jade Cargill into the semi-final and were like, hey, we can't really do her versus Belair yet, so let's just have Jade lose and let's protect her in the loss. But this was dumb. Her and Belair should not have been in this tournament unless Jade was going to win. Everybody said at the start of it that it didn't make sense, and hey, we're coming out of it with it making even less sense. I'm not a fan of this. In fact, I'm quite annoyed if I'm being completely honest. But something that I am a fan of is A-Town Down Under on commentary. So they're getting a thumbs up from me. And they were, calling the action for DIY versus Berto and Garza, which in itself was a solid match. I'll give a thumbs up to as well. It seems DIY versus A-Town Down Under is the direction from here. And again, I'm not mad at that. I think this could be a fun feud. Of course, we have the way history between Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory. That could be interesting to explore. Then WWE finally acknowledged these technical difficulties, these QR codes that have been showing up on screen as of late, and they also acknowledged the Twitch hack as well from yesterday. I mean, it seems that the Uncle Howdy debut is near, and I'm so happy about it. They've really built this at a good pace, Easter egg after Easter egg, and now it's, going more into the mainstream WWE product. And I'm excited to see how they do debut the potential Wyatt 6, Wyatt 5, Uncle Howdy, whatever they call it. I think they've done a great job here of really just, teasing us, getting fans to get hyped for it, and I think it's worked. AJ Styles then cut a promo backstage, and it's rare for me to, criticize anything AJ Styles does, but I'm going to have to criticize this. This is a thumbs down for me, and the reason being is that he cut a promo saying that he traveled all the way there to do an interview saying next week he's going to talk to Nick Aldis. So you traveled all the way, why didn't you just ask him right now? What's he doing? It's not like you've written him off TV for the night. I mean, this was weird. I mean, this seemed like lazy booking again, didn't it? There was a few just lazy booking decisions on this show, and that's not, super common for SmackDown, so I'm not going to criticize it too badly, but this was a thumbs down. I mean, it just seemed so stupid, if I'm being completely honest. Up next, Pippa Niven and Chelsea Green confronted Bayley. They got into her face backstage when Bayley was cutting a promo, and Bayley said, next week I want you two to meet me in the ring. It seems obvious Pippa Niven versus Bayley is going to be the direction for Clash at the Castle in Scotland, and I get it, it makes sense, but I don't care about it. And the reason for that isn't because of either of these women, because I'm a big fan of both. But WWE have given us no reason to care about Pippa Niven. They've not built her up at all for this opportunity. So it just feels, again, lazy, thrown together. And, I mean, that kind of sucks because both of these women deserve more. But now moving on to the main event, Randy Orton, Carmelo Hayes. Well, this deserves a subtle round of applause for the RKO alone. I mean, these two put on a really solid main event match, and Carmelo Hayes is really playing into that cocky heel character, it appears. And listen, I'm not mad at that ultimately. I think it could be very exciting to see. He does play the character very, very well. But Randy Orton goes through to the SmackDown finals where he will face Tama Tonga. And then to end the show, we had the Bloodline come out. Randy Orton grab a mic and cut, quite frankly, one of the best promos he's cut in a very long time. I'm going to need to give him a subtle round of applause for this. Randy Orton is fired up, and that's when Randy Orton is at his best. I was really happy about this. And I mean, I'm excited for Orton versus Tama Tonga next week. I mean, it's impressive how quickly they built up Tama Tonga, isn't it? No doubt about it. He's in the semi-finals of King of the Ring, the SmackDown final, and him versus Orton. It's going to be exciting. Overall, this episode of SmackDown is going to get a thumbs up from me, and quite frankly, it should be higher, and that's the disappointing thing, because there were so many stories advanced, so many long-term things teased at, so much great in-ring action throughout this episode. But then there were lazy decisions like that AJ Styles promo, the Jade Cargill DQ, and a few other things that just kind of felt like, hey, they ran out of time and they couldn't figure out a sensible way to do these things, so they'll just say something random. And yeah, I mean, that slightly hurt the episode, but still, I'm not going to complain about it too much because, I mean, both WWE and AEW have been on a great few weeks of weekly television. And I'm excited, heading into next week where things are going to go next. No doubt about it. But now, guys, I'm about to get on a train. I'm about to have a weekend away with my girlfriend. So I'll be back on Tuesday to talk to you guys about a little bit of Monday Night Raw. See you guys then. Peace.